can make it here. Hey, it's Big Cass.
Big Cass.
Big Cass coming to you live with the sweet sounds of oldies. What's up, everybody? I'm having some coffee.
Hang on. You said, what's up, everybody? And I was going to start talking, and I'm like, oh, I should give everyone else a chance to answer that. As if anyone else can say anything to you.
We currently have one viewer, it says here on CSL, so we could actually just type, get them in.
I'm that viewer. I've got another.
Oh, now we got 15. You count as a viewer? That fucks up my whole stats.
That fucks it up.
Now I got to subtract you out every time. God damn it.
Do you watch the show, Sean?
No. Not even a little
God,
bit.
no.
Nah.
Oh, God, no.
No. I have to live through it once. Why would I do it twice?
Yeah, why would I ever do such a thing? Yeah.
I like that bit where we did this, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, the thing is I hate this show. I hate this show unless we're laughing. Once we're like jokey and laughing, this is a great show. But everything where it's serious, I feel embarrassed for myself.
I never even watched that one, and I appreciate that the guy did it, and I'm glad so many people got a kick out of it. But the one where the guy went back and made the compilation stuff, never watched that either.
It was so good, dude.
I'm sure it was. I feel like I have a backlog of other things in my life that I want to watch that I struggle to find time for, so I can't justify in my head.
Wow, I'm feeling a lot of aggression from you right now.
I'm angry as fuck, so let's do it.
Why are you mad, Sean?
Well, mostly just because I'm tired, but I also think that we all go through these ebbs and flows where we're like, fuck wrestling fans. I'm in one of those.
Tell me why.
And it's not even it's not the stuff that Seth Rollins tweeted about. It's not that. It's the whole, here's my hot take. I like SummerSlam. And
you look so flustered.
And I think if I didn't have to watch all 6 hours of it live for my job, I probably would have loved SummerSlam because I could have fast forwarded some shit and just got to things. We got a show where fucking AJ Styles beat John Cena clean in an epic fucking match.
Epic.
We got Finn Balor as the first, has not lost on the main roster, has pinned clean AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, and now Seth Rollins to become a champion. And these motherfuckers are out here, WWE screwed me over, I want my money back. We've got this hot-ass angle, which I don't even know what to think about it, but mission accomplished because everybody's talking about it. Did Brock go rogue and blah, blah? I mean, I don't know if I even like this angle.
Fire.
But people are talking about it, and everybody's like, I hate this show. I want my money back. WWE screwed me over. Fuck you.
Get him.
You don't even know what you want. They just gave you everything you've said you wanted for the last year, and people are like, fuck this show. I don't know. I don't blame Vince and Trips. I mean, I don't know what the fuck to do with you people. And plus, you're going to tune in anyway, so.
Oh, do you feel better, Pumpkin?
A little.
Do you feel better, Pumpkin?
I should have called people stupid idiots while I was in it. Then I would have felt better. I'm a little upset with myself for missing that opportunity. But
well, you said we're not Jericho and Owens. I felt like we were, and then you just shit all over.
We're close. I wasn't trying to throw shade on you. I was just saying we're close. That's the ideal. We're they're here, and we're right here. We're almost as close as two mortals can come.
I wasn't trying to throw shade on you. I just did that. I ended up doing that.
Well, I mean, isn't part of our relationship the fact that we throw shade on each other? Isn't that part of our perfect love?
Well,
that we can do that for entertainment purposes and still come back together as a perfect union? See?
The show, it was a good show. When I was writing it, it's this crazy thing. This is what always happens, is I'm watching it and I'm kind of I feel a certain way. But then I start recapping it and I'm actually, like we said, you find all the angles and you go and through it all and you think about it and you write it out. And as I'm writing it out, and I even told you right in the Cage-Eyed Officers, what did I say? I was like, I'm trying to find something to say about this that's not shortchanging it. But once I kind of settled in and started writing, there was a lot to say. I think I did 3 breakouts before I got to All the Best, All the Rest, which is my way of just compacting all the other bullshit that they don't give a lot of time to that doesn't really matter like the other stuff does. But there was plenty to say. And then I got to the end of it, and I'm like, I actually like this show. That wasn't bad at all. The problem was, so I'm watching with someone, and it's like 7:10. And they're like, so it's 50 minutes? It's over in 50 minutes? Oh no, it's over in 3 hours. And it wasn't even over in 3 hours. There's still 3 fucking hours left on the show at that point. We had already been watching for at that point 2 hours. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Are you fucking kidding me? That is way too long to do anything. There's nothing in the world that you can do for 6 hours straight and still be having a good time by the end of it. Nothing at all, without at least some kind of break. But they don't give you some kind of break. There's no such thing as a break, especially for us. So it's different for us. At least in the fucking arena, you can just sit back and not you go get yourself a popcorn or take a leak or whatever you need to do. We're just stuck with it. So
that's
it's
what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
This was good.
If I could have fast-forwarded the Intercontinental title match and a few other things, not that those are necessarily bad, but like you say, they're not important. So if I want to get down to like an hour and a half of really good wrestling show, I could have made that for myself out of SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I mean, the best analogy I can come up with is I'm a big comic book nerd too, and I don't go to the store every Wednesday like I used to, but when I did, you would always find guys there who had like a fucking stack of books this tall. They're about to drop $200, their weekly $200 on comic books, and all they can do is bitch about it. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, you don't have to fucking read that many. There's 4 good ones in there, I guarantee it. Wrestling fans are the same way. You don't have to watch 6 hours of it. You don't. You could have. I mean, you could have watched the last 3 matches of Takeover and like the 4 best matches on SummerSlam, made yourself a nice little 2 to 3 hour package and been happy as a clam.
And you can, but the other thing too is like some people, I want some fucking slack. Like, so when you bitch, I would appreciate some understanding of that. I don't have that luxury. I can't just decide not to.
Right.
And what's funny is I still did. Like, the Ambrose Ziggler thing, it was my turn to do the recap. I was doing something else at the time, and I'm like, this fucking match, God, I have to actually pay attention now, you know? Like, you're not supposed to feel that way. Again, even the greatest thing in the world, the best feeling, the best experience you can find, is not sustainable for 6 hours. It's just not. NXT, I'm convinced the only reason people love it as much as they do is because it's a fucking hour long. That's it.
I don't think it's the only reason, but it's a major fucking advantage that they have. And Triple H will even admit to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there were 58 matches, so I guess let's fucking dive right in. I don't think we want to be on here doing this show for 2 hours.
I don't know how we're going to get it.
You're cranky because you haven't eaten, and
I know, and I don't know if people. The stats that I pay attention to with this show is we have a remarkable. We don't even try really, but we have a remarkable track record of coming in like right at an hour and 10 minutes all the time. So I pride myself on not being a podcast that makes you watch for 4 hours just to see what we might say. So let's do it.
Yeah, there is no reason to do. There's some wrestling podcasts that go for like 4 or 5, 6. I see a 6 hour podcast.
Yeah,
what could you possibly be talking about?
No, and nobody wants that.
And who has time for that shit?
I don't know. People who never leave their basement. I am in my basement currently, but sometimes I leave it.
I was gonna say that's a weird thing to use.
I just.
What do you want to start with? Your girl.
Who? Sasha Banks.
Your girl? That's not your girl? You got more than one?
It is. No, well, I do. I mean, I do have a couple of ladies. Couple of ladies.
All the single ladies.
Couple of ladies. That's definitely one of the hot angles. So sure, let's talk about her.
Well, first of all, hilarious, the panic. I actually think that added to the match in some ways. Like, it was such a shocking result that immediately less reputable websites. I don't mean...
Geno just popped himself, everybody.
I outed my fucking... You go, dude. You take it. I just outed myself that how I feel about some shit, but they...
All right, so let me tell you, everybody, what happened is they had this match, right? And you can tell Kane's predictions post is coming up later. And everybody on Cage Side thought that Sasha would retain. We were all wrong. And there was scary shit that happened in the match. And then there was a report that came out that she was off house shows for 3 months, 30 days, returning in Moline, Iowa later next month. What? I'm not doing that. It's somebody that has slightly less penis enhancement ads than some of the other places.
At all. No standards at all.
It doesn't have like pop-up ads for you won't believe these movie stars that fucked on screen that come at you. But it does have sidebar that says, "Is your dick not hard enough? We can help." So,
yeah.
You do the research, Cage Siders.
You can read this in 15 seconds if you turn on, or you wait 15 seconds if you have ad block on. Eat a dick, like.
Or if you don't, if you turn ad block off, then we're gonna give you epilepsy and get you fired.
Yeah, then a video is going, just a porn is just gonna start playing very loudly. That's what's funny. It's like, so you have ad block on, and you're just getting the pictures of some chick with her like leg up in the air. Like, you won't believe the photo attached to this. Like I think if you click, she probably has a dick. And then, but if you actually have...
I think if you click, she's probably fully clothed. It's because I don't understand the ads on some of these less reputable sites because they're like, if you click this, you won't believe it. And it's already a pic of a chick bent over with her gooch hanging out. So I don't know. What else are you going to show me that you haven't already shown me? It's like Krista Joseph's Twitter last night.
What happened? I had to meet him.
He got hacked is what happened. Do you want to see my fresh movies?
I know. Why are the bots suddenly like they got more intelligent and then they hit a wall and just got really fucking dumb? Like,
the scary thing is there's probably market research somewhere that says that guys get turned on by like the bad grammar. So that's why they do it. I bet you
they send them to us all the time, which I don't know what that says about us. Do you want to see my nude breasticle? I'm definitely clicking that.
Somebody tweeted me like that, and they like include a link to an article you wrote too. So it's like, great story. Want to see my naked clit? What?
Your naked clit.
Well, when I see it, I was like, well, I'd rather see it clothed because I bet the tiny clothes are adorable.
Yeah, that's the thing that I can't believe when I click the link on the less reputable site. She actually is wearing bottoms.
Whoa, I didn't see that coming. What a swerve.
Yeah, what a great swerve. Oh, okay, now I'll turn my ad block off, and then you do it, and then it's just a porno. China's porno just pops up. Sasha Banks. She might be hurt.
Yes. So it was interesting because I think like the whole with that.
So the thing is, her back's hurt, but the whole match was about hurting her back. What do you think that's about?
I think they knew that she was going to miss time for injury, and I think, as we've discussed, and it's not uncommon to do a match to sell an injury angle, right? To cover a real injury. That happens. Sure. I think, as we've seen with Sasha and Charlotte before, they've got this fucking chip on their shoulder that they have to prove that, and maybe they're right, that women can do anything men can do, and that they don't. And I think Sasha also has a chip on her shoulder because the word is out there that Vince is worried she's injury prone. So she's going to go out there and be a fucking lunatic.
And get herself injured.
And get herself injured worse. And so there you go. Yeah, I guess I can put myself in their heads and think why they decided to do this, but I think somebody backstage should have stepped up and said, hey, Sasha, if you have a lower back injury, maybe don't have Charlotte fold you up like an accordion 2 minutes into the match. Which, that's the other thing. I like Charlotte. She's come a long way, but she has these moments where she's still kind of green as fuck and looks a little bit dangerous, and that was a fucking scary thing that the match never really recovered from for me. And I think it did happen. It happened. If the distraction that I don't know, I was still distracted the rest of I'm not saying it was a bad match.
It wasn't. I don't think it was a bad. I thought it was pretty fun. It was really sloppy at first.
It was very reality era because they used the fact that, oh my God, we're worried Sasha's going to die. That was the story. So
you couldn't tell. There was a lot of that on this show, actually. A whole lot of I'm not real sure.
I have a theory about that.
Actually hurt.
I'll throw it at you. Well, I think in some ways this show was booked as a response to Conor McGregor.
Really?
I think they wanted to go out there and say, see how not fake it is.
That's so fucking
see what
stupid.
Athletes we are.
That's just stupid enough.
Isn't it plausible?
It's just stupid enough that I believe it.
I don't know that. It's a Sean theory, but when I
Would
look
be
back
the
on the way the
dumbest
night
thing in the
went.
world. Is that why Reigns really snapped? He thought it was Connor. He put Connor's little ass.
The Reigns thing is weird because that makes me really wonder. I'm jumping all over the place. That makes me really wonder about the finish of the main event because I can't believe they would decide to do that finish 2 matches in a row. So that's
I don't know why they would
believe.
Well, they put that. Why would they put that in between the title match and the main event? First of all,
because they really want Roman to be the main event, but they just can't quite do it. I don't know.
Well, that's what's weird about the way this got really weird. How close was? I didn't look at Kane and Knight's actual predictions. How close was he? He's probably fucking way off. Because why are you?
Once again, everyone, Geno doesn't read the site. He's busy over at less reputable websites, not reading his own fucking website.
I am busy at less reputable. Like, what's good about that is it implies we are reputable, and that's not true at all. Like,
no, we're a different kind of disreputable, but yes.
Yes. Kane, I'm not sorry. I don't know why I'm saying that.
He's not sorry. I was going to call you out on that.
How close was he, though? You can
I'm going back to look. Okay. I am. We cranked out a lot of content. I got to go back pretty far here.
We really did, but I don't know why. So I just don't understand. So the Sasha Charlotte match. They knew there was going to be a title change. I can't think that they decided this right.
No, I mean the bookies knew starting on Friday, right?
What's that?
Didn't the bookies know starting on Friday? Basically, I mean, wasn't Charlotte the favorite like all the way through the weekend?
No, I don't think she was.
I thought she started.
Maybe she was.
I'll go look for that post next. He wasn't too well. He got no. Let's see. He had Reigns and Rusev 5th from the end. He wasn't that. He had the main event right. That's about it.
So he was way off. Like I
said, his match order was the 6-woman tag intercontinental title, Sheamus Cesaro. The tag titles, then Enzo and Cass, Jericho, Sasha, Charlotte, Roman, Reigns, Rusev.
Why did you just do
WWE title? Because I was going to say Jericho and Owens, and then I realized, well, Jericho is just their team name if I just emphasize KO enough.
It's actually Jericho.
Look.
It's not Jericho. And it's certainly not orgasm that Jericho.
Don't.
Don't stop.
So he didn't really. He had the main event right, and
why would you put the Divas? Sorry about that. Why would you put the women's match second? If you know there's a title change, do you not? So you don't want to overshadow, I guess, Balor, and they knew they weren't going to do it. It was the second match on the card. Wow. They opened with Enzo, Cass, and Jericho.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I also get confused because I had been sitting for 2 hours of Renee Young not wearing a top, just a jacket at that point, so I was a little confused.
That's true, actually. I thought she looked like she had just had sex and decided I'm going to go out there.
What I mean. That's her hair was messed up. I mean, she looked beautiful as always.
Oh, but, for sure, yeah.
It was a weird I'm leaving the Playboy Mansion at 4 a.m, hoping nobody notices look.
Yeah.
Because that was like a smoking jacket she had on. Boy, this show's off the rails. What am I supposed to be looking for? Match order? I don't know.
We already did that. No, the point is, why would you put that second? I guess they knew they didn't want to overshadow Balor. They pushed him really hard, and they put him over in a big way. Certainly, and with the match, and I think Rollins deserves some credit because everything was about making him look good. That's the first time I can remember him using God's last gift. Just treat it like it was nothing. And I don't know.
Unless, of course, Bret Hart's right and Seth Rollins hurt Finn Balor.
Oh man, if that actually is the case, is it time to start talking about Rollins as a somewhat reckless guy? Wasn't it?
Bret Hart's never gonna. Bret Hart's never gonna stop talking about it now if he ever was. So
Bret will never recover from this. It'll be devastating for Bret. Why do we keep calling him Bret? Would you consider Rollins reckless if he's actually really hurt and needs surgery?
I always defended him and said that. I had always been a defender and said, no, these things happen. It's just bad luck. But I don't know. At some point, you got to say there's a pattern going on. He should at least stop doing the fight. If it was the buckle bomb into the barricade that hurt Balor, if Balor's hurt, we don't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe stop doing that fucking spot.
Yeah. If if people are getting their shit fucked up, you do a buckle bomb.
Because that's what made Sting the stinger, right?
That's what ended his fucking career.
Yes.
Thanks a fucking lot, Seth. Like, some of us still like Sting, dick. I'm still pretty sad about that, dude. I'm actually not very happy. You know what I just remembered happened on this show?
What?
I wanted to ask you about this. I was really happy they did it in so many ways. But then also, like, I felt a little weird about it.
Okay.
Eva.
Yeah.
They did the Eva
I'm right there with you. I thought it was, it's a great heel.
It's a great bit. But it feels wrong.
It feels like if I was suspended if I had a wellness suspension, I would be a little bit salty about it, the general concept of it being turned into a joke. I still think I know it's, Meltzer says it's not a work, blah, 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 but the more they do this, it's going to give fuel to the fire of people who think it's a work, which isn't good for your shareholders and your advertising partners and all those things. I guess they haven't felt the pinch from that yet, but they did put it out there. And the other thing that I really don't like about it, as somebody who's got like a personal and professional history with addiction, is if she does have a real problem with Adderall or amphetamines or anything, it's not fucking funny to make a little joke, a cutesy little bit out of it. Or if anybody else on your roster is struggling with that. I think that's a really bad look.
My thing on this one is, you remember, they did this with Reigns, but they never said it was anything other than a suspension.
Right.
They had Rollins attack.
They didn't read the symptoms list for ADHD when they did his intro, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so it wasn't a bit. It's not a part of the work. They specifically left that out and just worked around it. Meaning, to me, I think that's a better way to treat it in a lot of ways. To go, okay, we're not going to just say she's not going to be here because she's suspended. They said she's not here because she's exhausted and she has anxiety because the fans are treating her bad, which is a really awesome thing. But again, so what does that mean for next week? Are they going to keep doing it and keep coming up with new shit? Which in its own way would be funny, and maybe that's what they think. They go, okay, so it was a technicality. Maybe that's the case. It was a technicality. She didn't get her paperwork in on time, and she popped for the Adderall shit, whatever. Okay, obviously because they're still using her and pushing the angle, so she's going to come back. It's going to be the same thing. And it was the same with Reigns. Maybe they don't really care that much, but look, we got to keep up appearances. We have to do this because we can't not do it, because the wellness policy can't be a joke any more than it already is, because we're going to end our fucking biggest show with a dude who got popped twice for shit that makes it like he's very clearly on steroids. I don't know that.
And then do an angle where he might have roid rage?
And do an angle where he snaps out and just literally, not shoot, opens a gash on a dude's head so big he was an actual puddle of blood. Like an actual puddle, and I don't remember Orton ever being a great sell man. He looked shook.
I think he was at least shook and possibly concussed. He didn't protect himself for a couple of those shots. Yeah, and then he turtled up.
This would be like in football back in the day. They would have called it like a mild concussion. They just said he had his bell rung.
Right. If he was acting, it's the best acting we've ever seen out of Randy Orton.
They said, people, was it a shoot? The answer is yes. He actually elbowed him in the fucking head,
right? And
that's how they opened the cut. It seemed clear that the idea was they go into this, and they did the same thing with Cena, where it's like, okay, I get on top, we do some ground and pound, I'll work 98% of them, but I'm going to slip an elbow, and it's going to be legit. Would you fucking trust that? First of all, how nuts is Randy Orton for being like, oh, yeah, Brock, I trust you. Go ahead. This dude throws people around and breaks their necks on suplexes when he's trying to work it. Like, no, you're not getting on top of me, you big fucking bear, and clubbing me with your big ass. No, fuck you. But he did it, and his whole head, you posted the picture today. Go look at it if you haven't seen it on the site, khitseats.com. Bingo. Fucking a jagged fucking gash to the top of his head. Like,
he would have had to use a fucking stone, whatever those knives, stone cold pitches to cut that thing open. That's not from a razor blade.
Yeah, that was the Skull Buster. That's what that was. That was the Skull Buster Broken Skull Ranch IPA knife right there, motherfucking. He's just like digging into his head. I don't know why. Was it a shoot? Yeah, he actually hit him. That's what a shoot is. It was an actual elbow, and it actually cut it. It was uncomfortable. And they do this. What is it? Not even just 1 month after the fact that he won a fight in the UFC, aided by something.
Enhancements. Yeah.
Something. Yep. No enhancements needed, Randy? Apparently there are enhancements needed. Apparently you did need to be on some shit. And I guess, is that the lesson of the fucking match? Like, what are you really saying with this? And I like it, but now that we're talking about it like this from this perspective, and it feels funny to me because I talked about just being uncomfortable with what they did with it, where they went with it. Because if I wanted to watch UFC, I'll fucking watch UFC. If I wanted a real fights make me kind of uncomfortable. Like,
you've said that before about Japan. I mean,
yeah. Extreme violence is, I don't know the right word I guess I'm looking for, but we've talked about that too. Like, if you've ever been in front of someone who's been in a real fight, the sound it makes when a fist lands in someone's face, the sound of the thud, just you can see someone go out. You can see their body actually shut down.
You know what that sound isn't? Whatever Shawn Michaels hits his leg. That's not the sound it makes.
That's not what it sounds like.
No.
It's like the dull thud of like, it's really, and then some, and you watch those and there's for a time I was the K1 stuff. Like a gunshot, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a gunshot. And a guy, just his entire body stops working. Like, it's uncomfortable. Like, extreme violence like that is very uncomfortable. So here we are. I like this shit because it is fake. It's bullshit. I don't, the stories and stuff like that. I don't need to see you open up a fucking gash on this man's head. So when he turns over and he looks actually hurt, and it's uncomfortable to see someone that hurt and look actually hurt to that degree. And you go, well, he's not really hurt. Really? Because I don't know what that fucking red shit is. I think it's a pool of his own blood. I'm pretty sure he's fucking hurt, guys. This is not a cool thing. What I really liked about it, though, was the fact that WWE's idea was to be like, what are we going to do about this? Send Shane out there. What's Shane McMahon's old ass going to do? He's like, oh, Brock, I'm going to need you to stop now. Like, I'll step to you.
I'm just trying to check on my guy.
Yeah, I just need to check on my SmackDown Live superstar here. Throw down.
I hope he used all the trademark phrases.
Yeah.
I'm Shane McMahon, commissioner of SmackDown Live, and I'm here to check on my SmackDown Live superstar, Randy Orton.
Yeah, because I need him to work the live events for sports entertainment purposes. It's like, that's all right. So yeah, I don't know. I like that it was new and interesting and different, and you don't see stuff like that normally, and I'm for that. I like the Rusev Reigns thing because it was having a match. It fit in with the story too, right? If you're talking about, and they built that up the same way, 15 years in the making, and Orton's like, I didn't like him. He left, and fucking what, because he doesn't like people? That really pissed me off. And Brock's like, I don't give a fuck what he thinks. I was never friends with that guy. All I do is shit on my opponents. I'm going to go shit on him too. And that's what he went and did. Like, there's something about that that's really cool, right? Like, you want to talk about UFC and compare it to UFC, it's really, or even boxing. Like, the Mike Tyson stuff was great because he'd be like, I'm going to fucking eat your children. And like, and then he's in there biting people's ears off. Like,
it's like the McGregor Diaz stuff too. I mean, people are like, oh, this is ridiculous. They're throwing bottles. I can't believe it. But you're going to fucking tune in, aren't you?
Exactly, right? Like, and then people are like, well, this was dumb and it didn't work and it was bad. I'll tell you what, we might fucking break a record for hits today on our website. And
it's all people could talk about into the middle of the night. Is this real? Was it
guess
not
what the
real?
top 5 posts are?
It wasn't. I mean, I hated it, but by God, I want to talk to you about it.
Yeah, the top 5 posts, they don't have nothing to do with motherfucking Rusev. They don't have a damn thing to do with fucking. Well, Nikki Bella's doing okay.
Well, one of them does have to do with Rusev because I thought that maybe that would be the most like shooty thing that would happen all night. So I said in my headline that Roman broke his ribs, and it turns out that was only the beginning of the fun for the evening.
Sean, we talked about you not proving me wrong live on the air. Oh. Can you not do that?
All right.
All right. Well, that's fine. But so yeah, you liked the main event then?
I didn't really like it. It wasn't fun to watch, but I think it was successful.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's. I mean, like we just said. I mean, it got people talking. It definitely has drawn attention to it. To WWE for whatever their reasons were, other than the normal, like we just want to make money reasons. I guess one thing I think it did was I think it makes Brock a heel again, which has been needed for a while. I think there are people who are getting worked to some extent right now who are like, fuck Brock. I can't, he went into business for himself and oh my God. And that's why you need shooters in the locker room to take care of stuff like this. And
I think we have someone like that at least. That there are people and people said on
what's fun about it. is when you can get work like that. So
people were telling me, you need to go into the comments and look at stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't have time for this bullshit, because especially there's 500 comments. But I get in there, and there were people convinced, just absolutely, you couldn't talk him out of it. He was shooting on Randy Orton. And it's like, okay. Yep. And it's actually pretty interesting. There should be, I don't know, maybe it's an idea for a story at some point that someone should do, or some sort of video thing or something like that. What would happen if that actually occurred? Because that kind of stuff does happen. Like, I think I read Batista's book. A pretty good book. And he talks about, the time where he potatoed Undertaker. And Undertaker, actually punched him in the face or something like that. And he's like, that was a receipt. So it's like shooty stuff like that happens. I just sincerely doubt even someone like Brock Lesnar would ever actually decide, I'm going to shoot on this man and really injure him and cost potentially the company I work for, who pays me millions of dollars every year,
to do very little.
To do very, very little. To do so little. Like, they asked this man to stand there and look menacing more often than not.
Yep.
You're going to risk all of that in the name of what? What is it you're accomplishing by doing this? You're so you're helping yourself to do what? Better position yourself within the company that you're going to be fired from when you go back behind the curtain? Yeah. To make money on independence, which you don't want to do, because then you'd have to actually fucking travel in a way that you don't like. To go back to the UFC where you can't go because you failed 2 drug tests and you're suspended for 2 fucking years. And they don't even want you back at this. Well, they'd probably take him back.
They probably want him.
But there's money.
Probably more so after this thing last night.
That's true. So the idea of, again, that's the kind of thing, it makes me think of the conspiracy people. I was over here with my buddy Grubtub one day, and he had a friend over. I think I might have talked about this on the show. The NFL's scripted. The NFL's a work. Everything is, the Super Bowl winner is determined. And I think, okay, I want to explain this to you at the basic level that you can get to. Just think of how many people would have to be in on it.
Yep.
The only way to keep a secret between 3 people is if 2 of them are dead. That's it. Like, can you imagine how much it would take for that to be the case? It's the same basic principle here. Just imagine what would have to actually go into someone shooting on someone else, and the ramifications of it, everything that would go into it and come out of it, and then imagine that it would actually happen. It's not. It's not gonna. It wouldn't. It didn't. This was planned.
No, and there's
every bit of it was planned.
Right.
So.
And there's plenty of ways that, as we were talking about Rollins. That's the way I've always viewed the knee on Cena is, they're trying to work as close as possible, and shit's going to happen sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think you can also, this is my dime store psychology stuff, but I could also see Brock having a little bit of a chip on his shoulder after his big win has sort of been negated by getting popped by the USA ADA. Maybe he's trying to work even a little closer to really, get his reputation.
Dime store psychology.
And then, he nails, and he just nailed him wrong. It doesn't take much. Those are big fucking elbows coming at you. Or, read anything about Muay Thai. There's a reason they use elbows, because they'll cut your fucking face off.
Yeah, that is a strategic, and especially if they're pushing the fact that he's MMA style, and they absolutely are. It's how he dresses. It's how it's presented. That's what they do. You get someone on the ground, you start doing elbows, like you're going to fuck someone's world up. And you will open cuts that will potentially stop fights.
Yep.
And that's what happened here. So this was essentially, it was a wrestling match that turned into a fight, and you can't beat Brock Lesnar in a fight. That's what it is. That's the idea, I guess. So you get to the follow-up. Well, Brock's not even there tonight. That's the report is that he's not even going to be there.
Yeah, sorry.
Exactly. That's when you get
to go back to your previous point about websites. It's not a fucking report. It's been. He never was supposed to be there. That's not real. I'm going to write about it too because people are interested. But it's not some sort of fucking scoop you got. Sorry.
For those asking, he's not going to be there. That's a good way. That is a really good way.
We found that out by looking at the advertisements for the last 2 months, none of which ever mentioned him.
And by the way, if you see mailbag posts and they don't have links to the questions, those are fucking made up, everybody. And they're like, I was reading your website. I was reading your website, and I got the impression that everyone who runs it has a really huge dick. Is that true? From Nick in San Antonio. And that's totally true, Nick. Thanks for the question. Nick in San Antonio is not real, everybody. Just so we're clear. When we did mailbags, it was Twitter, and we linked to the fucking tweet that actually had the question so that you, first of all, you get some play. We like to be interactive. We're community-based. We like to do stuff like that. We don't pull bullshit like that. And I just, not to expose the secrets of the wrestling media business, but that's the fucking case.
Pulling the kayfabe curtain back left and right, people.
Fuck you, less reputable sites trying to put spyware on my computer. Sons of bitches. I don't want to. I do believe what that chick has when she's doing the scissors thing. Whatever.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, you do.
The chick.
You totally know what that means.
All right.
You're wearing a Cesaro shirt. How did you feel about his match with Sheamus? The Big Jar of Mayonnaise.
Good. I like their matches. We're gonna get 6 more of them. So I mean. Yeah, I liked all 3 of the matches on the pre-show, amazingly enough. I mean, the Dudley's match was kind of and I guess they're going to break them up for which no one cares. But I actually thought that the 6-on-6 tag, I had a blast. I thought that was fun. I like shithead Usos.
Yeah,
American Alpha was always fun. I'm a Moho Rawley fan. God help me. I used to hate the guy, but I think he's. I mean, for what he is, just the hyperactive baby face.
The hype bros?
I do. I've always liked Ryder. I mean, so sorry. I don't know. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know.
The hype bros. Lady friend called them hype brothers, which I thought
that's
was fun.
not right. Yeah,
that's not right.
But we'll probably call them that from now on.
We're definitely going to use that from now on.
Hyperactive brothers.
Hyperactive brothers.
Yeah, I liked all the pre-show matches though. It didn't need to be. So here's a question.
They were just there.
Yeah, I mean they're Raw matches. Here's a question. So we learned last night that we're gonna get 7 months are gonna have 2 pay-per-views, and then 5 months are gonna have the big mega pay-per-view like this.
Where did you hear that though?
They advertised it on the show. It was called SummerSlam. And yeah, no, they said they're adding 7 new pay-per-views for a total of 24. No, a total of 19. So I did the math. Dang, there are 5 months where there will only be 1. And we already know that they've already added No Mercy and Backlash.
Okay.
To September and October. So it looks like we were talking about. I mean, it's gonna. I guess Survivor Series, SummerSlam, Mania, Rumble, and we guess Money in the Bank will be the dual branded pay-per-views. But are those all going to be like fucking 14 hours where we have to try to get everybody on the card? Or was this just the remnant of the, or I guess is SummerSlam and Mania going to be that only and the others will be all right?
If so, I will formally announce my resignation.
If you leave, I'm right out the door behind you. So congratulations, Kyle Decker. You have inherited the site.
Yeah, hey, Decker, man. Good luck with it.
It's a high traffic gig. You're going to love it.
Yep. Yeah, you're going to deal with a lot of bullshit. Yeah, we're already getting our mentions.
This was 13 matches, and it took 6 hours. I mean, granted, the pre-show wasn't wall-to-wall action. It was
supposed to be 14, and Baron Corbin was pissed off about the fact that Kalisto.
I think he was shooting. I think he might have actually.
He was definitely shooting. Oh, that's a nice watch. Mine's more expensive. Shut up, Lawler. I actually like Baron Corbin.
I like Baron Corbin. I actually like Jerry Lawler as long as he stays on the pre-show panels. I mean, he's still a cheesy old man, but
I'm a little uncomfortable that he's sitting right next to Lita and Renee Young. But I can,
he's too old. We're too old for him.
Yeah, and it's funny because Renee Young's out there with fuckhead and is also maybe not wearing a bra and just a jacket over her titties. And Lawler's 2 feet away, and I'm like, this can't end well. Something bad's gonna happen. And then there's Booker T going, I don't know what's going on, and Renee's not wearing a bra.
I love Booker T so much that I also love Geno T, whoever that is.
Geno T?
Geno T.
It's just
Jeannie Ray. I don't know.
I don't think Lita has made a coherent point.
God bless her. She doesn't even understand what words are. She has inherited the Brie Bella crown.
I was going to say the best fight on the pre-show was Lita against the English language, and she lost.
She has always been a favorite of mine. And apparently she's like a good producer backstage, but she was like, I think they have unteachable control, or I don't even, it was just like, what the fuck? And she's like, I'll offer something, and you can fucking see. Even Booker cringes. I mean, Booker is not like, you know.
Booker T makes more sense than
Booker
you.
is not Strunk and White up there, elements of style. He got his thing, and it makes sense, but it's not grammatically correct. And even he doesn't want to hear what Lita has to say.
They cut to Booker at one point. I think they asked him for a prediction, and his head was in his hands. No person has ever looked as over it as Booker T looked. Someone post the gif. Someone don't post the gif.
You'll get banned. The WWE lawyers are coming rounding you up.
Someone get the screen grab there. He's got his there, and he stayed there. Renee's like, "Who do you think is gonna win, Book?" And he's just got his head in his hand for like 5 minutes. I don't know who's gonna win the match. It doesn't really care. The leader's a dumb motherfucker. Oh my God!
I don't think he said "Shucky Ducky Quack Quack" once last night.
I don't. He was clearly depressed. Also, John stick on his head and just looked miserable.
I think
it's probably no surprise that everyone involved in this show looked really sad at all times.
Everybody knew that Randy Orton was going to be murdered later. Word went around backstage. We're sacrificing Randy later on.
Here's the plan for the main event, guys. We're going to kill Randy Orton. So say your goodbyes. Stewart was really shook because they just told him before he went out. You mean I got to put a dick on my head after you tell me Randy Orton's going to die tonight? Oh man,
yeah.
What a still. And Stewart was really bad. Let's be real. He didn't know the cadence.
The crowd shit on him from the jump, so he did his.
Well, he looked like a homeless guy, so he's like, there's just a homeless man in the ring. So many people have been jumping the barricade that it's. Why did they give this man a microphone? And he didn't. They
had to hide his New Day shirt.
Yeah. Well, he didn't know the cadence, and he's like, "Oh, you can help me out." And then
he tries, and he fucking likes wrestling. So
if Brooklyn, who can't count the rotations on the Cesaro swing, can actually get the cadence right, and you can't, you should probably put the mic down, Johnny. John Stewart. I think you're a nerd.
I think he is a nerd. You know?
Big E returned, and he drank ball water.
He drank some fucking
formaldehyde, as Corey Graves said. Are we going to act like he didn't just drink formaldehyde? Oh, Corey Graves is the best, by the way.
My favorite was the I don't even know. I can't remember what he's talking about. He said, "Well, we're not in Oz, and that doesn't stop Byron Saxton from dressing like the Tin Man." I just fell out. I don't even remember what he was talking about. I just lost it. I love Corey Graves so much.
He's the best. He's so good. Like, he's such a shithead on Twitter that sometimes it makes me like, God, dude, why do you got? And then I remember how great he is, and I'm like, you know what? Do your thing, Corey.
Well, him and Baron Corbin are best friends in the world. They're probably.
Is that shoot?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
you don't watch Superstar Inc.
So, no, certainly not. I don't have you don't have time to watch this show.
Roommates for a while in Orlando, and they're still like best buds. They go to like metal shows together and shit.
You know, that actually makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
I just like that
especially when you look at their personalities on Twitter. Yeah.
I just really like that he has like the king role, the JBL role, and he's not like unbearable with it. So that when Enzo's out there, the babyface, and he's talking about Brooklyn's state of mind and all this stuff, and Graves can hop on and be like, Enzo's from New Jersey. Like it comes across really well. He's like, Enzo Amore's from New Jersey. Fucking shut up. Yeah, so I really love Graves.
Yeah, I am. So I got some heat for this on the Twitter machine.
What'd you get?
I'm getting a little tired of Enzo and Cass.
Ooh, you know what? This was the first show, I think, where I felt similar. I was like, you're going a little. Cass was singing. I don't.
Yeah, it's just there's no. I mean, if it's got a point, then it's great, and he does. He's got a gift. I mean, he does make it sort of sound cool, but he wasn't saying anything last night. And I don't need you to go out there and kill 10 minutes running down fucking hip hop references about New York when I got 4 hours of wrestling I'm trying to have to watch. So
and don't give me 4 hours of wrestling.
That's another thing where. Well, and the other thing is that goes back to your point about NXT. That's one of the blessings or whatever, the advantages of NXT is we saw Enzo once a month, and if it was 10 minutes on a 1 hour show, it was the coolest thing you saw. But when we see it 2 times a week, which is what we got last week. We're going to get it again tonight, probably. It's just, it's not his fault necessarily. They're overexposing him. They're asking him to go out there and come up with new cool shit to say every time, and that's tough to do.
It's also the issue of live versus TV, right? So we watch every week TV, but you got to understand what they have. Punk talked about it with the 5 moves thing. Everyone, of course, has 5 moves, but imagine being in the city that we are going to, and do you want to be the town where they don't do the gimmick, where they don't work the shtick? You want to be a part of it as a member of the crowd. So if I went to a show, so WWE's coming to Moline, and that was where Sasha is apparently first advertised again in my neck of the woods. I don't live in Moline.
If it's is some sort of undiagnosed back injury, how the fuck do they know when she's coming back? That's weird.
That is a strange. Well, unless they just decided,
and they don't. And that's my point. Is other sites didn't point out that they don't know that that's when she's coming back. That's just when they stop pulling her off.
That's just the first advertised date, and they could still be updating and changing that. But either way, like if they come here to my neck of the woods and I go to the show and Enzo and Cass are on it and they don't do that, I would be very upset by that because I want to take part in it. So on some level, on some level, I understand and think they should do it, and I'll just kind of deal with that part of it as a viewer. But I think it's a bit excessive when you get to a point where, like you said, it just felt like you don't have any good references to be making. You're just continuing to do it because it's like, I should be doing this. I'm Enzo Amore, and this is our shtick, and we should be, I thought it was cute when he's like, it was all a dream, and then the rest of the crowd actually went right into singing Juicy. That was cool. Yeah. But like it got really, he went back to it. Like, you already hit that, And
here's my thing where I feel like this is different from the 5 Moves of Doom thing, too, is that this doesn't need to be on television. He can go out there. You can be running your fucking KFC commercial or whatever, or cut to the, I don't need to have to watch it every time. I get that. Somebody tweeted back to me last night, well, the crowd seemed to love it. Fantastic. I get that. I'm a fucking rock apologist. I know that there's certain shit that's great if you're in the arena and it's not as great if you're at home. But a promo that doesn't have any impact on the match we're about to see, and it didn't. It was just popping the New York crowd. You can give us the very end of it when Jericho and Kevin Owens come out, but I don't need to see all 10 minutes of it. You can do that just for the crowd as a dark segment, right?
Yeah, that's probably you could, but
that seems like a way to avoid overexposing him and still making everybody in the arena happy.
It is overexposing in a sense, but it's also the thing that lets you know. I mean, these guys are over, and it makes them look like bigger stars to get that kind of response. So it's kind of it's a like Trent Dilfer likes to say, same thing makes you laugh, makes you cry.
I just structure the promo so that the last thing he does is the Juicy sing along, and we come in and we see that, and I don't know. I think there's a way around it, but it's probably not going to change, so I'll deal with it.
Were there? Do we want to talk about anything else? Actually,
I mean, the other thing that we sort of jumped off the Sasha Charlotte thing.
Yeah,
one thing that I'm wondering about myself personally too is whether or not the fact that they're women plays into the fact that people get so freaked out about the spots that they're doing.
Oh, I saw you tweet that, and you made sure to say, to be clear,
I'm telling on myself too, because I definitely did. I was like, oh, this whole thing makes me uncomfortable, and I didn't have that problem when Rollins and Balor are doing some of the same spots, or if I watch Ospreay and Ricochet do it. I mean,
if the answer is yes, is that a problem?
I don't know. I think to me, I don't necessarily think it's a problem. I think it's one of those things that like we have to point out. It's like a privilege argument. Like you're not going to fix it. But sometimes it's important just to recognize it.
Well, the thing about it is, so there's some level of, this is a tough one because, so I had a girlfriend once who, was
really?
We were talking and kind of playing around or whatever, and it was one of those things where it was like, she had said something about, I'd kick your ass, and I just kind of like. My response to it was such that she got actually upset. And I was like, okay. Like just so dismissive. And she's like, what, I could hurt you. You understand? And I'm like, oh, honey, that's cute, but you could never hurt me. Like you would have no chance at any point. Like, she's like, no, you need to understand that, like, I can stand up to you. And I'm like, oh, there's a difference between your ability to stand up to me and just the like biologically, I'm built in a way that you are not. That's not sexism. I'm not saying you can't be strong. I'm not saying that Ronda Rousey would murder me. Ronda Rousey, it would be embarrassing. Wipe the floor with me would break every bone in my body before I ever had a thought to throw a punch at her head, right? And I'm not saying I ever would. There's nothing I'm against in the world more than hitting a woman if you're a man. I'm just saying, like, my body makeup as a man is such, I'm built for that kind of shit. Your body makeup as a woman is that you're not. You're smaller. It's just, that is not sexism. That's just the fucking reality of how we're made as men and women. Sasha Banks is 5 foot tall and weighs 110 pounds. So when I see her in situations like that, I get worried because she's not as big. If I see Reigns or Rusev or even Seth Rollins in situations like that, they're sturdier. They're built differently. They can handle it. Even if they couldn't, it seems like they could handle more. In the same way that you would see a bear and think a bear could handle more physical punishment than you would if you see, some other, I can't think of a small animal, I guess, that would,
A honey badger.
Sure, plucky, whatever you can, whatever they are, they're scrappy and they can get in there and fight, but your body can't withstand the same kind of punishment. And again, there's no sexism in that. I honestly don't believe that. It wasn't like, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but you're not going to hurt, you could not hurt me. You could punch me as hard as you could and I maybe a little dazed. If I punch you as hard as you could, you might actually die. That's not sexism. That is just the reality of the situation and how we're built.
But a work exhibition like this is sort of, in theory, if they're doing it right, and maybe that's the problem is that they're not doing it right in some cases, but, it's like gymnastics. Like, we don't say that, like, girls shouldn't do tumbling exercises in the Olympics because their knees might break or something. If you train for it, you should be able to do it.
They do it because they're dainty and because they're smaller, they can do that kind of cool shit, whereas big, beefy, burly men can't. So in this world, the men are beefy and burly and can handle that. And in this world, the women are smaller and they're expected to be smaller, which sucks. And so it's like, I wouldn't have felt like that if it was Nia Jax. You know why? Got nothing to do with the fact she's a woman. Got to do with the fact she's built for it. You're built to take that kind of stuff. So I think that's when it's scarier because, oh, God, you're going to do this thing. And Sasha's already apparently hurt. She's been hurt a lot. She's small. If this shit goes wrong, some shit's going to go real bad. I think it's got more to do with the way they're built than it does the fact that they're women.
Well, I don't know. I think there's some of that, but I don't think gender can be taken out of the, because Enzo does that shit and people don't free. Right before they had their match, Cass almost killed Enzo with that Air Enzo move. You know what? Actually, yeah, and Cass went flying over the top rope, which I thought was fucking hilarious, but he didn't get enough air, and then the pop-up code breaker. Yep.
I was like, Jesus, that looked awful. What are you doing? Or even, it's like we're sitting here talking about Brock beating on Randy and going, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this. This is not good. It's too real and stuff like that. So I think even in this show, we've kind of clearly demonstrated that we have the same regard for men. It is not as though we're just going, okay, it's women, so they're so dainty and ladylike.
I think the tone, the volume, the quantity, and I don't know. I do think it's there. I don't think people were freaking out about Enzo. I don't think if you watch a fucking Evan Bourne match that people go as crazy. And that's a guy, and that's a knock. That's something that people say that's a concern Vince has about smaller guys. Daniel Bryan did crazy bumps, and his body obviously wasn't built to take it. But people didn't do quite as much freaking out in the moment. Like, towards the end of his career, once we knew about the concussions, and people were like, oh, Daniel, I wish you'd stop doing that. But during, like, the Yes Movement run and the Team Hell No stuff, nobody was going, stop doing that, or very few people were. It wasn't like a chorus of people like that, what my Twitter feed felt like last night during that women's title match.
That's fair, but I think it also was set up by the really bad thing in the corner.
I think there's a lot of factors. Absolutely. And I said earlier, I think the story that they were trying to tell was trying to, like, involve that rumor, right? They're trying to get into, Sasha's crazy or not crazy, but Sasha is willing to do more than she should sometimes to get over, and that she won't, even though she's hurt, she's not going to stop fighting. And so that was all part of the story. So there's a lot of factors, but I think we've seen it with some other women's matches too, that people have this like, oh God. And I don't think we would have it if it weren't, and like I said, I do it too. So it's a remnant of a lot of different psychological stuff that we deal with. But that's why I think sometimes it's important to talk about it, even if we don't have an answer.
I certainly don't want to dismiss what you're saying because I think you're probably much closer to what the reality of the situation is than I am. I mean, because, again, you think of it, you talk about even the women's revolution and who did they always reference within that? Okay, so they referenced Ronda Rousey. Okay, well, Ronda Rousey came to be and came up through Strikeforce and then into the UFC. You know why she was in Strikeforce and not the UFC from the get-go? Because Dana White, the most powerful fight promoter in the world, said no to women in the UFC. So, and this was just a couple years ago. Well, maybe probably longer than that now. I would guess. It's been a while. But either way, right? So the head guy was like, no. And his sentiment was echoed by so many in that I don't want to watch women fighting. I don't want to watch women actually hurting each other and beating each other up like that. You actually hear that a lot still today. So I think you're probably – I want to make sure I'm not dismissing what you're saying here.
No, I agree. And I don't think you are. I think we both have valid points. I just think – like I said, I think it's an important discussion to have because this is the WWE's – storyline now too is that the women are equal, right? I mean, it's a meta storyline that runs through every women's feud we have. So it's important to consider. I mean, that's and maybe in some respects the fact that people are so hand wringing about what the women do drives them to do even more shit.
Did you watch that special they did on the women?
They have Women's Evolution, yeah.
Oh, what'd you think of it? I watched it this morning finally.
I liked it. I mean, it's better than what I feared it would be. Like, it wasn't just Stephanie.
It wasn't a Stephanie fucking fluff.
Yeah.
It was a little bit.
I think it's still WWE fluff piece. I mean,
I like the focus.
like you said yesterday, I mean, I'm a little bit tired of the hugging too. I mean, at some point, true equality is just let these girls go out there and tell the exact same stories as the guys. We don't talk about the brotherhood. I mean, occasionally you do, but it's not the main fucking storyline. Not every fucking Shield. The Shield triple threat didn't end with a group hug.
Well, an interesting thought is because of our, I guess, privilege would be the word, we don't see real-time milestones in our world, right, so to speak. Like, so the men's stuff is not, it's the standard, therefore you don't get the milestones, so you don't consider those kind of things. But we're so far behind with the women, we're seeing the milestones in real time and we're going, quit the hugging and shit. You're falling all over yourselves to celebrate all these little, here's this step and here's this step and here's this step, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. And it's like, okay, but fuck off, because we're just seeing in real time such a rapid progression just to get to the standard where we don't celebrate these things. So maybe it's unfair of us to be like, quit the hugging and shit, because it's like, well, actually no, because we're actually breaking barriers and this kind of shit is a big deal, and it's only a big deal if we make it a big deal, and if we don't, then it's no different than anything else, and then it's still not the standard. You have to kind of overcompensate in some ways. So and that show kind of, even watching it and like they're trying to puff it up to where it's something more than it actually is, because we're really not there. We're not even close to
no, exactly, yeah,
any sort of equality in any way. Like if people think that's the case, you're fucking way wrong. There certainly weren't. There were 13 matches on this card. 2 of them were women.
Yep,
that's not equality, ladies and gentlemen. That's nowhere near it.
I mean, I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I was just going to say, I think part of it for me, too, is my ongoing struggle with, and it's not just WWE in this regard. I mean, this is the reason why I left corporate America, because I get a little bit tired of everything being something that can be commodified and sold. So, maybe, I'm sure there are several. I mean, I know for a fact there's a lot of men's matches where they go backstage and hug or, fist bump and say, great job. They hold kayfabe outside and then it comes back, and it's not packaged to us and sold to us. I mean, that's sort of, and I have the same problem with WWE on like Connor's Cure. They're doing good. They're doing good work. They're raising awareness about pediatric cancer. They're hopefully raising some money for it. But that doesn't mean that I don't also roll my eyes sometimes when, Stephanie McMahon talks about nowhere. So, and that's sort of it to me. Like, even though there's a long way to go, and maybe this is part of it, I get a little, it's not so much that they hug. I mean, if that's your emotion and those are your friends, then absolutely. But maybe I wish WWE didn't show it to us so much, and it didn't feel like they were selling it to us instead of other things. But like you said, it's 2 sides of the coin, because I see where that also helps advance the, the cause of equality.
I also think we're equal opportunity complainers in the sense that when Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Triple H did their hugging thing at the top of the ramp in Miami at WrestleMania 28 after the Hell in a Cell. End of an era, and they're all hugging each other and shit and holding each other up, and it's this big iconic photo, and it's put in the DVDs, and it was, you're selling something to me. Yep. You have to square that at some level with all of this. Cameras are following everybody, and everything is, like you said, with the express purpose of how do we turn this into money?
Yep.
How do we make a profit on this? And it's at the expense of me. I mean, someone asked me last night or maybe the night before, I don't know, someone on Twitter was like, I'm legitimately upset by that result. Am I being worked? And I said, well, if you're mad at anything you see in pro wrestling, you are being worked, my friend. And then people kind of gave me some pushback, and even the person who had said that. And I said, to be clear, it's not a bad thing to be worked.
Exactly.
In fact, it's the whole point. You should go into this with the idea that, again, I think it's find the right people to watch these shows with. Find the right people to be around this stuff with, because you can get jaded. You can get really cynical. They are selling you bullshit. It is a sleazy, shit-filled industry with a lot of sleazy-ass people within it, especially the people whose job it is to quote-unquote entertain you. A lot of the fans are sleazy too. I mean, it's kind of a sleazy business overall, and that doesn't,
it's a sleazy world overall too. So it's.
I was gonna say it's a pretty sleazy world. I guess Sean's sleazy. Well, I know that for sure.
I mean, that's
Decker, I hired him. He's a sleaze.
Okay,
also a piece of shit. Oh, Canaanite's definitely a sleazy guy. But now, so I'm just saying that you go into it and go, I'm going to have fun with this, and sometimes your fun means anger. Mm-hmm. And that's a tough thing, I think, for people to square sometimes. They confuse that. They get angry and they go, fuck this company, and go, you're angry. That's the point, was to make you feel this way. Just don't lose sight of that. And I act like I'm better than you, or like I know more than you. Certainly, I don't mean to condescend here. If that's what's happening, I'm sorry. But at some point, right, you just go with that. Allow that to be the thing you go with, and go, you know what? Fuck Charlotte. And say that. It's what I do with Eva Marie. It's what I do with Eva. That's why I can enjoy it. No, I'm not saying like, oh, fuck Eva. I'm just saying you go with the thing. Oh, God, Sean, don't do that to me. No, but I'm just saying just allow yourself to go with it. So when Charlotte comes out tonight, hate her with everything you have, because you kind of do have that anger. Be really upset that Sasha doesn't have the title anymore, and use that to cheer her even harder, right? That's how we can all enjoy this shit better, so we're not so fucking pissy and smarky and shitty all the time.
And I would say, people, every time we have the Eva Marie conversation, there's comments and tweets about, I think Sean's getting worked. Maybe, sure. I think I'm actually getting worked more than everybody who's cheering for her. I'm the one that's going with the goddamn story and saying, I don't
You're
like
getting worked too. If you like it, you're also getting worked.
That's sort of the point. Why else are we watching? Are we really watching this because we want to pick it apart, or are we watching this because we want to feel like we're fucking 12 years old again and get excited for the people that we like and get mad when the people we don't like win? Yeah, that's why I'm watching. I fucking love it when I feel like I'm going to cry during a Bayley match, or when I feel like I'm going to fucking rip something off the walls because Cesaro lost. That's part of why I'm watching.
If you've ever told someone about pro wrestling the following sentence, jump in front of a bus. It's a work. Okay, don't do that. But if you've ever said to someone else, it's a work, shut up. That's cock stain type shit. That's bullshit. Like you might as well say, hey, you're on Earth right now.
I think that one of the things that I really like to do, and one of the things I really like about the Lesnar Orton angle, is because I like to play work or shoot. That's something that we, I think, as so quote unquote smart fans, or just adult fans who realize that it is not a legitimate athletic competition. That's one of the things we like, is we like to try to tease that out and figure it out. So I understand. Yes, I'm okay with too often the it's a work thing is just like a condescending like argument ender. Like, I'm not even going to talk to you about it. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I tweeted about that a couple weeks ago. It's like, that's the most pointless thing to offer up as like an argument in a debate as anything. You can't explain why, what you think of it is intentional and what the effect that people are trying to get. That's a conversation we can have. If you're just going to be a douchebag and go, it's work, Mark, fuck you.
Yeah, if we're around the water cooler and we're enjoying a cold beverage and we're fucking going, I don't know, that looked like a goddamn shoe. Well, his head was bleeding all over the place. Yeah, that could have been a shoe. I don't know. That's interesting. Maybe we'll find out someday. Yeah, that is cool. And some fucking not as good as Brooklyn asshole comes sauntering up and goes, "It was a work, guys," and then walks away. You want to throw the water on the floor so he fucking falls and cracks his head open and there's a puddle of blood. Little shitbag. Don't be that shitbag. Just that's all we implore you. And people in the Cage Side comments, and there's been a ton of comments that we are not moderating because the fixer is just, I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know.
That's what we call Canaanite because he actually fixes Sean's typos.
I see how it is. No one else has a fucking typo on this website. I got you.
No one else has ever made a mistake. It's all Sean. But just please don't be that. You can argue, you can debate, you get into it, have fun, get passionate about it, all that good stuff. Get angry. But just don't be that guy, please.
Yeah, just don't. Yeah, have a fucking conversation, have an argument about it even, but don't think that you're fucking better than people automatically. It's annoying. You want to talk about Brooklyn in general?
Nope, not really.
You don't want to talk about Seth Rollins' comments and the reaction to the red belt and all that stuff?
I don't even know why he was mad. Why was he even mad, really?
Because they weren't paying attention to his work of art. He was painting.
I'm breaking out God's last gift, and these assholes are chanting about a shitty red belt. Didn't they chant delete?
They might have. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure at one point they chanted delete.
They were also doing like they would get into the match until like the cameras cut to the title, and then they would start booing again.
It's a good match. That fucking thing is ugly as balls. It is ugly as ass, dude.
Why did they have to go with like the fucking ribbed? I mean, if it was just like smooth red leather, like the Intercontinental belt, it might be all right. But it looks like a fucking like 1970s sofa. What is that? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure somebody who's more into like leather working can tell me what that. I hate that fucking texture.
Oh yeah, where it looks all bumpy and weird.
Yeah, just fucking have it be smooth, or just have the red be. Oh, well, I guess that's already the women's belt, where the red is behind the.
H had a fucking WWE title laying around in the house. His kiddos got a hold of it, colored it red, and Stephanie was like, "I got it. I know what we're gonna do for the Universal title." And then they just threw it out there. I don't understand. Why would you want that kind of, what's the word for it, when something is the same spread across everything? Uniformity?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Is that the word I'm looking for? So 3 different titles that look exactly the fucking same. You going for the UFC gimmick now? That's one of the things I always hated about the UFC is everyone's got, you got a featherweight and a lightweight, welterweight. All the titles all look the same. It's just an ugly-ass UFC and some brass on it. This looks terrible. Change it up, make it cool, I want that one more than I want that one, that kind of cool stuff. That's one of the cool things you can do in wrestling. And now it's just, that one's a different color. That one's red on the inside but white on the outside. This one's just all red all the way around. And this
Are they going to turn the WWE the world title, and is it going to be blue now? I mean, is that
going to be? If it's blue, I will announce my resignation as the head of KTC.
You're being worked, Geno.
Give me a fucking reason. Just give me a reason, WWE. You're being worked. He's being worked. Hope he resigns. Step in.
Oh, shit.
Do it. I will fucking work me. Work me over. I like it. What else?
I don't. I'm sure there are at least 10 matches we haven't talked about. Is there anything else that you can remember?
The women's Nikki Bella returned. We're happy about that. What do you think of her new finish?
I thought it was pretty good. She worked me a little bit because I was like, oh god, is she going to do the rack attack? And then she did.
I thought so too. There was a second there where she put her up, and I'm like, did you not learn anything, Nikki? If Brie was there saying, no, don't do it, Nikki. Like. She didn't do it, though, and it was the TKO, which is an interesting thing to call that when you're, when you got the Lesnar murder of Randy Orton planned for later in the day.
True, I didn't even put that together, yeah. But she's not going to call it a TKO, right? She's going to call it something like the Nick KO. I don't know.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about, what do you think?
I didn't miss her interviews. I was reminded of that when her fucking Fallout video is blue brand, I'm going blue. Go watch it if you don't believe me. That's pretty much, it's a minute of blue.
So speaking of shit that and how it looks. So what did you saw?
Mine's usually like brown and tubular.
Looks like a. Did you just say tubular?
Yeah.
Mine's usually brown and tubular. Look like a little missile.
Sometimes it's a little bit squeezed off at the end, you know.
I had to drop a log.
Oh God! Please tell me Julie's not listening. She'll be like, "No." And now on the list of things you cannot discuss: penises, vaginas, and the shape of your feces
and excrement. Yeah. What did you think of the CWC trophy?
Oh, it's a dick.
You think it looks like?
Actually, I don't think it looks like a dick. I was just working your gimmick. I think it looks really fucking lazy. It's like, and DEO said this on Twitter. They need to fire the whole design department. I mean, if the best ideas you can come up with, the new shirts for TakeOver were all garbage. I mean, Rude's is the best one, and it's just a fucking firework with the word glorious in the middle of it. No way Jose got a goddamn stop sign shirt. Then you've got the like, oh, we got a great idea. We're gonna stick a globe on 4 things. You morons. And then now we got the red belt. I mean,
and they made a big deal with the design guys. These guys build motorcycles and shit from the ground up with nothing but straws and shit.
CFO $, or however you say it, CFOs, those motherfuckers are on fire.
CFO $.
So the music team is rocking, and the design team can't even find their own ass.
They're just taking a shit and calling it what it is. Yeah, I was like,
exactly.
And it really, here's the thing. I don't know if this is a design thing. I'm certainly not a designer. It really bothers me that the globe on top is crooked. It doesn't sit up straight. I
guess doesn't the world like sit on an, I don't know, but yeah.
The world sit on a what, Sean? Where are you going?
The world is a vampire. I don't know.
Does the world sit on an angle?
Shout out to TNA President Billy Corgan. Doesn't it sit on like a tilted axis? I mean, isn't that like a?
Is it? I don't know. So you can't design a fucking title, but you're going to be scientifically accurate with your CWC trophy.
I think the Orange County Chopper guys, they take their astronomy really serious.
They're not fucking around.
The only thing they care more about than Harley's is the alignment of the planets.
It looks like ass, but it's scientifically accurate. Okay, Interstellar. Yeah, it's stupid and bad and dumb. And plus, I guess, does that mean the Cruiserweight champ is not going to be the dude who wins that? They're just going to give him that big, ugly-ass trophy? And here you go. Now, good luck on Raw.
Probably, yeah.
Are they just going to? I just carry it around and club people with it, like.
Well, I mean, it's a trophy in the WWE, so the odds of it lasting like a week are not good.
That's probably what they told him.
Corbin's taking pretty good care of that Andre this time, right? Or did it get smashed and I didn't pay attention because I don't care?
What?
Has anybody smashed Baron Corbin's Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy? I mean, he stood by it for a bunch of weeks, but I think he protected it. It's still
intact. He's in a feud with a dude who is smaller than the trophy.
He may or may not be assaulting in all sorts of physical, sexual, and emotional ways. Kalisto.
I actually did see. I missed SmackDown, but I saw the video of that. I'm not entirely sure he didn't rape Kalisto, and I think something.
Heidenreich's too. This angle is Heidenreich's return.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God, it was. It was Heidenreich and Cole, wasn't it?
Yep.
Pushing him against the wall. Going, you fucking like that.
Reading him poetry and shoving him up against the wall face first. It's like fucking watching an episode of Oz.
Fucking start talking like Batman. Breathe for me. You got a mouth hole in that mask.
Holy shit.
You're just
don't you need to go to lunch or something? God damn it.
I do need to go to lunch.
What else? I'm not going to pay.
Let's wrap up the show. Let's wrap up the show, Sean.
Are you doing the entire cast of Dark Knight Rises? Or?
I'm gonna go to Applebee's to get myself some shit. After we're done talking about SummerSlam, perhaps Kalisto was wondering why someone would rape a man.
I want to take us out. I'm ready, but I'm like, what if the next thing he says is even better? I got nothing. Just go out. Just